on, right on. So lots of jump cuts. I'm looking forward to it. Bill, I swear, every time there's like a new piece of merch that's like Lucid that you're wearing, that I'm like, it's 4 years since I was an intern. It doesn't feel real to me that that amount of time has passed.
Well, I'll let you tell me where you ended up heading off to after you interned with us.
Yeah, so I ended up going to Cal Poly, going into material science or materials engineering.
What skills do you think makes you a strong engineer for a if you end up going to work for somebody else?
I mean, like with you guys, the PLC coding, the some of the other coding that was going into it, figuring out the bomb stuff, learning nice. I mean, any electrical knowledge that I get is going to help me if I ever need to wire something. Any experience in SolidWorks is going to be helpful. But those are, I guess, I'm talking some about the soft skills too. I've had some, especially like after the research too, having experience in a bunch of different testing apparatuses. So that's like scanning electron microscopes, DLCs, differential scanning, DSC, sorry, differential scanning calorimeters, um, stuff like that. Definitely just having a lot of instrument experience helps a lot because then you can go through processing a material or looking at its properties pretty fast. So yeah, and definitely some SolidWorks experience being able to do 3D modeling, some programming, some of those other things. That's like key to engineering, one of the biggest. And so yeah.
It sounds like you've had a ton more hands-on experience than what we end up seeing when we interview most new grads. Are you end up getting to use tools at all? I mean, to allow you to use tools out there?
Yeah, they do let us use some tools. I remember, so for one of the IME labs too, we were able to use a CNC mill and a lathe, and that was like us, like right on the machine, doing the turning and everything, having experience with the different tools and stuff like that. Um, physical vapor deposition, so like sputter coating for the SEM, where you have that like target that gets like spat out, and so that the like the atoms of gold will like coat something, so we can scan it in the electron microscope. That's been really nice to be able to work out. That's what I like about Cal Poly is that we're actually using lots of the instruments and the techniques and stuff like that. Because just hearing about it is all well and good, but like being able to have that chemistry with the machine, messing with it, figuring out how it works, it's really nice and helpful. And so yeah.
So has it helped with you doing your senior project?
Agree. I would say not the most like the senior project has been it's in a simulation software that I haven't used before. It's like fully new this year. And so I know like some of the principles too, and I've worked with like other code in the past. But seeing it like it's different but still the same. So there's still lots of stuff that I had to learn like from the ground up to figure out how to like build a mesh or how to put up like walls and outlets and incorporate different physics modules because the simulation software it's called COMSOL. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah. And definitely towards like that the aforementioned like materials class that I had. We're building a simulation. And so we had to get the right velocity profiles through a filter, the right pressure profiles as well. But we were basically talking with everything. And of course, like profile of it changed when we were fixing the fundamentals of the simulation, some of the governing equations, some of the settings that we had enabled. So it kind of did away with the velocity profile that we wanted, but it set us back, but we're working on getting back to it. And so, but yeah, changes in projects requirements happen all the time. And so we have to just be ready to, I mean, I'm sure that's what I learned with you guys too.
Like he knows the project triangle.
Yeah, no kidding, right? That's exactly what I was just thinking. Um, Now that you've had 4 years to look back on it, what's your main takeaway from interning with us, especially as a high school intern?
For it. And I was expecting sort of a more like a less engineering focused side of things, but I was really happy to find that you guys were so like, I mean, you guys do engineering for the life sciences. That's your thing. Before, like, I mean, biotech is cool and engineering is cool, but to see the two overlap in the same thing is just it was amazing. And so that was probably the biggest one is to see that that was a whole like field and it was complex and nuanced and interesting. And especially just the way you guys do things, like having that was my first probably professional experience, and you guys did a good job of like treating me like an employee, but not like expecting so much. I remember like learning so much from you guys, especially like I said, like agile wiring stuff. You guys took me through the whole process too of I feel like doing some of the coding, the PLC coding as well. And then I remember Bill, you were showing me like the using the what's it? The thing that measures electricity. I feel the voltmeter, not the voltmeter,
Oh, the fluke, the process
the
meter.
yeah, the process meter, like checking the electrical contacts and everything, and doing the. It was just that was like one of the coolest things too, because it always felt like we were jumping to something new, and I never felt sad that I was leaving something else behind, because it would be like you'd be like, Robert, come into the workshop, we're gonna do something, and then I go in like figure something new out, and then I get to kind of like go back to the original or the overarching project, and so that was really cool. I really like that you guys did that. It was a fun time.
Well, cool. Well, instead of just sticking on the nostalgia and you blowing sunshine up our butts, how about we move on and look about what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
How do you stay organized now? And
Mhm.
what kind of techniques have you developed on your own to try to make that a little easier?
After getting to college, just realizing how much I need to be organized, like it puts so much pressure on me to develop systems that I'm happy with, and it has to keep developing, but definitely just using
Plus, you made one of the all-time greatest things we've ever had is that industrial NES controller. That
it on. I've been so happy to see that you guys have been using it and everything. That you guys, yeah, it's been really cool because I feel like it's a part of me that gets to stay with you guys. Working in research over the past summer, that was a it was really fun, but it was also pretty challenging. And we had this one day where so we were using this one instrument to analyze the surface area of a material. Um, and so the machine just was not calibrating. We would calibrate it and it just would not calibrate properly. And this happened like 10 times of recalibration. And so we had to we had to go back to the instrumentation manual itself and like see how they had to see what the instructions there were to recalibrate it. But even then it wasn't working. And so we just kept trying different things until finally I was able to get it working. And so it was really satisfying though, because we were like, all right, finally, it's giving us some numbers that we want after hours of bashing our heads against it. We can get some data. Yeah, it was great. I'm really like looking forward to, I mean, especially after you guys, I'm serious about engineering for the life sciences. I loved like working in that sort of field, stuff like that. But also working in sales as well, because I feel like I'm a pretty personable individual. I'm also open to a position related to that. Definitely stuff that has to do with photolithography, semiconductor kind of stuff, because I also have some backgrounds towards those sorts of things. Yeah.
so you ready to graduate?
Yes, I am ready to leave. Easily, yes. I'm looking forward to actually working a job, because I mean, school has been great and I do love learning, but I feel like there's only so much you could do. Like the best way to learn and the best place to progress is in the workforce, like doing stuff. You guys are out here making stuff. You guys are building things. And so, I mean, I get to do that a little bit, but not to the degree that I could be. So I want that. So thank you so much for the interview, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh my God, you killed it. Just need to tip it downhill and it starts getting its own momentum, and it sure sounds like you're rolling pretty hard.
Walking out of that lab that day, like being frustrated that we didn't have any data at all, but being like, okay, well, the machine is calibrated. At very least, the machine is calibrated. Thank God. Yeah.
There you go. Then you're saving us time. See, you're already helping out.
I feel smart. I feel, yeah, but it's cool. It's nice. But that doesn't mean, I mean, I am still picky. I still have standards. Uh, no, no, but I've heard some crazy stories. That's a good question though. That's what I was thinking about too. I was like, you know what? I mean, like, I'm an engineer. I have to solve the problem. So you just got to see it through. Like crying, tears streaming down their face, super red and everything. And I'm like, hey, it's okay. Don't worry. Like, you're gonna be fine, kiddo. And, like we create like some sort of like hiring video or something like that. That's like, hello, welcome to Lucid. I don't know.
That is
We're
such a
going
great
through
idea.
college.
We're gonna totally do that.